The Second World War fundamentally changed Britain. Our built environment, our society and our national psyche were shaped by the 20th century's most devastating conflict. But what was it actually like to live in Britain on the eve of the war? Now you can find out. In the 1930s, before the war, a building boom had helped pull Britain out of a terrible recession. New, cheaper housing meant that more people could afford to buy their own homes, and by the outbreak of the conflict in 1939, most families lived in modest, single-family homes. Houses were heated by coal, gas or even electric fires, but few had central heating. By 1939, over half of all homes had a radio, and many had electric lights, although outdoor privies were still fairly common. For many, life had never been so comfortable. However, the impending conflict was already having an effect on people's homes. Anderson shelters were built in back gardens, and vegetable patches replaced the flower beds. Then, 2 days before war was declared, a national blackout was imposed. Blackout curtains were issued and paper tape was put over the windows. On the same day, just 3 years after it started, BBC television stopped broadcasting. At this point, the government urgently needed updated information on the nation's population. The last census had been taken in 1931, and it seemed increasingly likely that the 1941 census would not be taken. So, on National Registration Day, the 29th of September 1939, the details of every single civilian were recorded. Why? To organise identity cards, rations, and later on, conscription. Recording people's jobs was also important. Those performing heavy labour would be issued with extra rations, and people with specialist skills vital to the war effort could be easily identified. Some mothers, fearful that their sons would be conscripted, hid them from the enumerators, only to suddenly reveal them when they realised that no record meant no rations. The document created, the 1939 Register, was vital to Britain's war effort. By the end of the war, German bombs had destroyed more than 2 million homes in Britain, and large areas of key cities had to be totally rebuilt. The Second World War changed how and where millions of us live today. The 1939 Register is the only surviving record of the civilian population at the beginning of the conflict. It's now available to search online. Explore the handwritten document, contemporary maps, and local newspapers to discover how the war affected your family and your world. What stories could your home tell you? Explore your world on the eve of war. Find your family, your home, your town in the 1939 Register at Findmypast.